Yo, what's going on, Prom Family? It's Marquiste, and I got my guy Don Digital here. What's going on, Don?
Hey, bro, I'm doing good, man. How you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty awesome today, man, and we got a real great topic that I wanted to cover with everyone today. Now, what if you could build your own app in like less than a weekend? To where normally in the past, if you wanted to build an app, it could take you months and thousands of dollars. What if you could build an app in a weekend for literally almost free? That's what I'm going to be showing you today in this video, Don. And hopefully it shows other people who's watching this just how easy it is to get started with building an app and literally have something functional. Start on Friday night, you might be ready to go by Monday morning. What do you think about that, Don?
Man, listen, bro, that sounds too good to be true, but I know we've been doing a lot of these different vibe coding apps, and I still don't think that people believe it, bro. So I'm glad that we're doing this video. I know you're gonna break it down, but yeah, bro, I'm just excited to see because I know what the possibilities are, and I feel like other people really need to take it serious and see that you could really build this stuff in a weekend. No
Yeah.
lie.
And literally the proof is in the pudding. I'm showing you right now, sharing my screen here. You can see an app that I built in about a weekend's time here. And I'm still continuing to make it better, but it's already functional and it works. And it's called Viral Thumbnail Creator. And so the reason why I built this app is because just like right now, you're probably watching us somewhere on YouTube, maybe on Instagram and TikTok. And any of these platforms has the ability to create thumbnails for videos. And we want our thumbnails to look good, right? And so there's a lot of different tools out there in the market that I could have chosen to use. But because we have the ability now to create apps, I wanted to just test myself and also learn in the process. And I was able to easily create this app called Viral Thumbnail Creator that takes a lot of the best features of some of the apps that I was already using, putting them into one. And now, Don, I can literally create my own viral thumbnails. And even better, I built it to where you can too. All you got to do is sign up, get an account, and you can do stuff like, your face clone. It gives your thumbnail score so you know exactly how well they're doing. And as simple as just literally signing up for a free trial, you'll be able to get some credits. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly the tools that I used to build it and how I was kind of building it out.
That's dope. That's dope. Now I know you're about to get into it, bro. So I got a quick question for you. Number one, this looks already clean. It looks fire. But can you explain like the importance of having thumbnails and like the quality of it? Like why do people need thumbnails for their videos?
That's a great question. Thumbnails are super important because they're literally like the wrapper over a gift. And on the inside of whatever a package is, you don't never know what's on the inside. It could be the greatest video, like the one that we're shooting now. But if the wrapper on the outside of what you see doesn't look that great, you're not going to click on it. So that's kind of like how you can think of your thumbnails for like YouTube or Instagram. When people are scrolling, you want it to pop out and be something that's interesting that they actually want to click on. If it's something that's like poorly designed, where the colors are off or it's illegible where you can't read the text, no one's going to click on it. And so that's why this tool was really built, was because like I said, we want this cool video that we're shooting for you right now to be seen by other people. And if we just slap some ugly thumbnail on there, you'll never see it. So that's why thumbnails super important.
Okay, okay. And the one last thing, and I promise I'm gonna let you show it, is that you made a really good point a few minutes ago where you said, like, hey man, I could have just used somebody else's, but I'm just gonna create my own, right? And that's the power of using these tools and these resources, is that again, sometimes it's not always about making money, but maybe you just want something of your own IP. Maybe you want to streamline your own process. So like, I think it's dope that you said, of course, like there's other tools that I could have used, but with these platforms, I could just create my own in a few hours or over the weekend, and I can have something just as good or if not better that I can just use for myself, or I could put it on the marketplace and have other people use it and pay me for it. So I think that's a dope point that you made, and I just want to make sure I highlight that because that was fire.
No, that's a great point. And that's like you mentioned, there's so many different utilities for building these apps. Initially, this was a problem that I was solving for myself. I was paying other services upwards of, $80 a month, and so right now, a lot of the stuff that you see here is like test information. I'm not publicly selling this yet, so I'm actually probably going to lower these prices because these are just some of the prices that I've seen here. But the ability that I love about coding is it makes it so simple for me to come in here and change this. I'm going to eventually change up the headline and stuff like that, maybe change up some of the images. But it's something that I built for myself really as a tool to solve a problem. And then I was like, well, I'm going to now make this available to members of my community who, use our other services. They'll have access to it. And then when I'm really ready for it, then we may publicly launch it so anybody could be able to use it. But before I dive into the back end and kind of show you how it works, let me just kind of give you an example of the software in play. So basically, I'm just going to quickly log in here into my test account. And this is it, a very simple profile. So right now you can see some things that popped up, and that's because I already kind of have some chats open. So I'm just going to delete these ones that I already kind of have here now, kind of like if I was completely starting from scratch. So on the left side, basically, it's kind of chat GPT-ish, where it is the ability to start a new conversation or a new design. And then when you start the new design, you just come to the right here and you chat and say what you want your thumbnail to look like. And the cool thing about this is not just for YouTube thumbnails, Don. You can also use this for YouTube Shorts, for the vertical videos, and also Instagram Reels and TikTok by just coming to the top here and changing the dimensions of what type of image you want to generate. And then down here at the bottom, you literally just describe what you want your video concept to be. So I can say, I want to be sitting in a chair reading a book called Training Kitties, right? And so these are some other cool options with the software that I built in. And then this is just because I've used so many other ones and I was like, man, that's a cool feature. Let me tell that to the software. It added it in. And so like I can have a persona of myself or no persona. No persona basically means it's just going to generate a person that looks however they look, right? It's just going to come up with it. If I say persona, it's going to generate using an image of me in the actual photo. And so if I go to the left side, that's a really cool feature of the software that you can add in personas of yourself. So basically you come in here and say new persona. And so for instance, I can say, you know what, this is going to be Don. And then I would upload multiple images of Don. You want to upload at least multiple images because that way it'll basically be able to model your face. And then now you have the ability to use that persona. So now if I go back here and here to where it was like new design and I just paste what I took out of there, I'm just going to use my persona. And then also you can use different styles. So these are kind of like preset styles. Like if you wanted to have like that Mr. Beast viral look, or if you wanted to be more dark or maybe a neon gaming look, these are kind of different preset styles that you can use, or you can just say no style and then AI is just kind of going to generate it based on how it wants to do it from the best guess effort. So now I just click here and say generate. Now we can go have a cup of coffee. We can go play with the kids. We can go do whatever we need to do. And it's in the process now of generating a thumbnail just like that.
And this is fire, man. So what tool did you use to build this app?
I'll definitely will go into the back end and show you off completely, but the vibe coding environment that I used was Google AI Studio. And with Google AI Studio, you can pretty much get started almost completely for free. All you need to do is have a Google account, and then you can sign up, you can get an API key, and then you'll be basically able to start using it just kind of like you would use other tools like Bolt and Lovable, but it's not the same type of credit system. So you don't burn through a lot of credits like you do through Lovable and Bolt. That's why I say it's almost like vibe coding it for free. You still have to pay when you use the API. So say for instance, this tool is using the Nano Banana from Google. So anytime an image gets generated, there is a fee that's associated with that. And it's usually just pennies. And so that's how basically it charges you basically every time you create an image. It's not charging you when you're actually like coding the app. It's really charging you every time you actually use the API features. And so you can see just like that, it created me a thumbnail here. And you know what the crazy thing about this is literally the background here. It has a picture of purple rain in the background.
Wow.
And I am a huge Prince fan. It has a picture here that says the best is yet to come in this recorder because of one of the images that I uploaded for my persona. It has my background slightly in it. Now, this picture is not exactly where it's at in my house, and all these books are not the exact same way, but the AI was smart enough to put me in like an office space with the purple rain, and that looks pretty much like me, Don, I would have to say. Actually, I'm
I
looking
was just about
before.
to say that. I was
It looks
literally about to
pretty
say
much
that.
like me. And then I have my book here, Training Kitties. And it gives it a virality score of 83. It ranks it from 0 to 100. I can come here, and if it doesn't have the kind of score that I like, I can say one click fix, and it'll just continually try to improve the score to get higher and higher. Or if I like it, I can just download it from there. I also have another cool feature that I built in called a YouTube preview to where maybe you want to see how this thumbnail looks on YouTube without having to upload it. You can just click on this little eyeball icon right here, and it actually brings up like this fake YouTube type of grid. So you can now see what your actual thumbnail would kind of look like in YouTube. And you can even come in here and edit the headline to say, if you wanted to put whatever the headline is. So you can kind of have an idea. And maybe you don't the way it likes the way it looks among other thumbnails. And you can just come in here and keep changing it and editing it. You can say something like, I want to not have my mouth open and look like I'm actually reading the book.
Man, this is dope. This
And
is
so
dope.
we'll let it do that. And before we move on to actually showing the back end, I'm just going to show another feature that I kind of built in here as well that I think that's a really cool one. And this one is especially if you already have like your own YouTube channel and you've already built out your thumbnails, and maybe you just want your thumbnails to now look a little bit better. There's a feature in here where all you have to do is just literally put in the link to your existing YouTube video. It's gonna scan the thumbnail, and then it's gonna work on making a better thumbnail. So like this one now, you can see I just gave it that little prompt, and now it's lowered the score a little bit because I think sometimes having those shocked, bewildered faces, it gives it more of a virality look to it. So if I was to come in here now and click on 77, I can actually click one click fix to boost my score. Anytime it's 80 or above, it won't let you do one click fix because it's saying it's pretty optimized. If it's below 80, it'll let you come in here and optimize it.
And it's so dope that it can pick that up just off of the photo that it generated. The fact that it could do that is crazy. And I'm curious to see what it would do if you click that button. Like, I wonder if it'll revert back to the original one or if it's gonna like
So
create.
let's take a look. It will say one click fix. Man, it also gives a little feedback. It says the contrast is good to improve, zoom in a little bit more on the face, and book to eliminate the background descriptions and make the kittens larger for more immediate emotional impact. So we'll just click this here, see what it does. It says applying viral fixes.
I mean, that's dope.
Yeah, so like I said, I've been just going through a lot of the older thumbnails that I've had and just been using this tool to recreate them. Because before, I was using Canva, and Canva is cool, but they were all kind of looking the same. And it's a lot of work to get these types of viral looks or whatnot. So now this is what it did. It kind of, in my opinion, I think I like the other one a little bit better, but it
Yeah.
basically zoomed in more on the book to where it's showing my eyes or whatnot. So, and this
Okay.
is why, you can agree to disagree, or you can, the beauty of this is because you can split test in YouTube. So you can download, the one thumbnail and then download the other thumbnail, and then YouTube allows you to A/B split test your thumbnails. So you can say, you know what, I'm gonna try both and see which one does better after maybe like a couple of weeks, and then just run with the one that's the winner.
Right. Man, that's fire. So dope.
Yep. So now what I'm gonna do here is show you how you can use the other feature of just taking an existing YouTube video and changing the thumbnail. So like I'm just gonna pull over one that we have here that is called Your Websites Can Talk Now. Build your own AI voice. So I'm gonna drag my screen over so you can kind of see it here. And so you can kind of see these thumbnails here. Can you see these here?
Yes,
Like
sir.
they all kind of have the same type of look to them. So like if I just took the link for this one, just get the shareable link, and then you come in here to this where it says Magic Generator. You put the link in here and say generate thumbnail. And then once again, what it's doing is using the Gemini API to go out look at the video's current thumbnail. It can read the transcript to understand what the video is contextually about. And then from that, the AI will create a prompt that you can then use to actually create a thumbnail based on what it knows about that video. So basically what it did here is it created this prompt here based on what it knew about the video. And so what I can do is I can say, you know what, I want to do no persona or using my persona in the actual thing. In this case, I'm just going to say no persona, so it doesn't have a picture of me, so we can see both ways, and just click on generate here. And the one really cool thing I like about this is just on the left side is this chat functionality, because now you can go back to your other designs. They're never gone, so you can always go back to them, edit the conversation name, and maybe if it's a thumbnail that you created like a couple of months ago and you want to make some changes to it, you can do that. So now you can see this is what it created here for that thumbnail. It literally shows like a mouth, like the website is literally kind of talking or whatever. And it gave it a score of a 72. So I can come in here and I can say, you know what, I want to do the 72, or I want to just say the one-click fix. And basically it says to improve, make the go high level larger, or add context text like AI is alive, or they speak to clarify the speech, specify the speaker being showcased. So it's crazy just how it's literally analyzing itself. It's like
That's
it's creating a
crazy.
thumbnail and then it's analyzing itself to say, you know what, we can do a little bit better.
Man, that's crazy. Power of AI, man.
Man, this would have took months, not say months,
Mhm.
months to build something like this, first of all. But even if we just look at it contextually from the standpoint of a business owner who needs to have these thumbnails created. Now, I think this actually looks a lot better to me personally. I like this with the text on it. I think I might just download this and we can use this as a thumbnail. And I
Right.
think it looks a lot better than the one that we had. It's just going to stand out a lot more in the feed. But just think if I wanted to create this from scratch, how long would this take me? I don't even know where even to start to create from this from scratch because I'm not a graphic designer. I'm an automation specialist. So I can go into Canva and maybe grab some text, but to have all the color transitions and the way it looks, that's hiring a graphic designer, right?
Hiring them, and then you got the time. You got to go back and forth with the revisions. No, I don't like this. Can you change that? So you're investing money and time to create something that you just did in a matter of seconds.
Yep. So we just gonna download that one real quick, and then I'm gonna just go. We just going over to YouTube real quick, and
And check
then
out this
just
video. If you guys haven't checked it out already, I highly suggest everybody that's watching go back to our previous videos, man. We got so much dope content like this. Just teaching you guys like a bunch of different AI tools. So go
yep.
back to
And
the
so you
channel,
would
watch it.
just come in here and grab your video just like that, and save it. And just like that, now we got a completely different thumbnail. We should hopefully see our stats going up because I just personally think it looks better. Because the other
I
thumbnail, you
do
couldn't
too.
even really see what it even said. You just saw
Yeah.
a silhouette of us, but you couldn't really see what it says. But now someone seeing this in the feed, they're gonna probably click on that. Like AI is alive. They speak with the big mouth. It's and the go high level. It just kind of tells you so much stuff in the thumbnail. So
I love it. I love it.
so yeah,
Dope.
that's what we built, and that's the beauty of being able to use these coding tools. And like I said, this is something I literally built in like a weekend, guys. And that's just showing you the front end. So now I'm gonna not spend as much time on the back end, but at least kind of show you how this kind of came to be. And so the very first thing that you want to do if you haven't used before is you want to go to aistudio.google.com. And that's a link that we'll have in the chat here. But that takes you to Google AI Studio and where you can understand exactly how this tool works. And it's like I said, a lot of the other vibe coding tools where you sign up and you literally just have to prompt it on what you want it to build. The cool thing about using Google Gemini and Google AI Studio is that because you're using Google's ecosystem, a lot of stuff is already built in. So it's already able to access Google. It can access stuff like YouTube, database stuff that Google already has in different services. So much stuff is already kind of like built in that you can utilize that it makes it kind of easy to stay within the Google's ecosystem. And then also, like I said, the pricing is just hard to beat because, like I said, I pretty much built this whole Viral Creator app completely for free. And up into this month so far, it's the 22nd of January. I only spent like $5 in credits generating all of the thumbnails that I've used for testing. And I've generated over 100 plus thumbnails for testing so far. And so the cost of it is super, super inexpensive. So that's the first thing you do is sign up for Google AI Studio. And if you already got a Google account, you're ready to go. And if you don't, It's very simple to sign up for a Google account. And then once you logged in, you're going to come to a spot like this here where you're now in the Google AI Studio. And then on what you're going to see is on the left side, you're going to see this spot here that says build, and you're going to click on build. And then it takes you into this spot here where you can just build your ideas. And this is literally where you start typing in what you want to use. And you have different models of Google you can use. I use the one called Google Gemini 3 Pro Preview. That's pretty much the most powerful one and the most latest one that they have now. You can use some of these other ones, and it's just using less credits, and it's sometimes operating a little bit faster, but the Pro model thinks longer, and the credit usage may be a little slightly more expensive, but like I said, it's still not the same type of credit system that you're using when you're using something like Base 44, to where you could literally just run out of credit usage per day. Because I've been coding this app multiple times throughout the day and never have run out of any type of usage or whatnot. And so basically what happens is, Don, you just literally come in here and say, I want to create this. So I can come in here and say, I want to create a program that can allow me to instantly generate YouTube thumbnails from a prompt. And you can see I completely misspelled all of this stuff. So I'm just going to quickly make these changes. Another cool thing about this as well is you can do it from dictation. So if you don't want to type it, you just want to speak it, you can literally click the button and speak what you want to say here. But basically, just this simple way. Now, there's better ways to give an app a much more concise prompt. For the sake of just timing, I'm just going to show you how simple it is to get started. So you basically say that, I'm going to click on build here, and it just goes to work. And so in the background, it's building out the specifications. Like you can click here, you can actually see what it's doing. It's rethinking things, it's understanding how it needs to build out the app. So that once again, this is now where we can go have a cup of coffee, we can go walk the dog, do whatever we need to do. The app is literally building itself from scratch right now. It's just
That's
simple as
fire.
that.
So, question for you, right? So, when you built the app that you just showed us, did you give Google AI Studio like a reference point, or did you just kind of just prompt it like you just showed us? Like, did you give them a link to other competitors and say, hey, like, look
I
at this?
did, and that's the one way you can
Okay.
definitely go about doing it. And it's like you can literally give it a link to like a competitor site, or even just copy and paste like the sales page and say, you know what? I want to build something similar to this. I want you to consider the features that they have, what we should include to make it better, how we can differentiate ourselves. Those are some of the things you could think about when you're putting in your prompt. So it's not going to just be a complete replica clone, but also add in additional features and functions that may make your app stand out from the other app if you're using another app as a reference or point.
Man, that's dope. And that's so key, man, because like for those of you that may be watching this video, like you might be in fitness, you might be in credit repair, you might be in trucking, whatever the case may be. If you have somebody in your market that's a big dog, somebody that's been, consistently posting content, they have their own apps, they have their own software, they're like a dominant force in your industry. Now you have the ability to kind of mirror what they're already doing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And based on what Marquise is showing us, like the quality is top notch. Like this looks like a $100,000 app that he just created, with pennies on the dollar over the weekend. So like if you guys are in the industry, I always encourage people like to start creating your own IP, and you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, guys. Like you could just see what your competitors are doing. Don't copy it, of course. Use it as inspiration. And then you come in here and you make your own app, and you have your own audience that already likes you, knows you, trusts you. And the odds of them downloading your software, using your tool, is going to be a lot higher than somebody that may have way more followers than you, way more money than you, simply because they already know who you are and they trust you. So I think that's fire, man. I think that's a key point about this whole entire process, is that just use this stuff to your advantage, man, and just go crazy, have fun with it.
Yep, and literally, as you can see, it's still working. It's doing this thing. Sometimes it'll find errors in the code. Like I said, it found some errors. It's fixing the errors that it finds. It's literally just kind of doing everything for you. So while that's still working here, I'm gonna go back to the one that I've already built, just so you can kind of see the flow of some of the conversations that I've had with it, because I just continuously make it better just by going through the process of testing in that app, and I'm like, oh, I don't like the way this works, or I don't like the way that works, and then you just kind of go back into it and say, hey, make this change, make this tweak, or whatever. And so on the left side here is literally just a running conversation of just different prompts that I've had, or if I find error messages, or if I say, you know what, I like the way that this software works, I'm gonna copy and paste that in, and how can we change this up? And so this is literally just this long conversation of just me going back and forth and back and forth. And so now, like I said, I have it pretty much done. I don't have what I don't have complete yet still is the payment setup. So where you can actually collect payments. Because like I said, right now I'm still just testing it and working through it. But that would be like the last thing is just integrating it with something like Stripe so people could actually create like a payment plan and actually start utilizing the software. Right now, I have it set up to where you can sign up for free. It gives you trial credits but no payments. But now you can see here, just like that, it's already created me something. And that wasn't even a full 5 minutes. So I know at the beginning of this video, I said you could probably create an app in a weekend. Well, we just created the first draft in like 5 minutes, just like that. And it doesn't look like my other app. And that's mostly just because I prompted it differently. Like it goes back into what information you give it up front. So right now, it does show you that you can create via YouTube thumbnails, but you have to have like an API key set up. And so that's some stuff that's going to be more on the technical side of things, of how to set up an API key and all that. I already kind of have one set up for Gemini, but if you don't, you would come in here and say create a new key. And that just so that way, if you're using these features, it's going to be able to bill you or whatever. I'm just going to select one that I already have here right now and just click done. And so now it has my API key selected. So now it can actually bill me as I'm using these features. But just like now, I can come in here and I can just prompt it to say certain things. So I can say, a shocked looking man is surprised to see an AI robot walking a kitty down the street. If you can't tell, I love kitties. So yeah, we're gonna say that there, and then I'm just gonna say this is kind of like we'll say cinematic, right? And generate thumbnail. And so now it's just gonna go through the process of generating that thumbnail. Now, and this is where you can just make it better. This is how I made my other app better. I can say stuff like, you know what, right now you're only generating thumbnails for long form videos. Maybe I want you to generate thumbnails for shorts. So you need to give me an option so I can toggle. Or maybe I want to be able to upload a picture of my face so you can use it as a reference. That's just where you make it better. But just like that, it already has says, you know, here's a robot walking the kitty, a guy's looking surprised, and it's a very cinematic looking. So now I can download this, put it to my YouTube channel, you know, or I could have told it to put some text over it to say, oh my God, the kitties are taking over the world, you know, just something like that. But that's how it starts, just as simple as that. In 5 minutes, I've created a YouTube thumbnail builder, and with a little bit more time, as you can see, I literally created a whole application infrastructure that's almost ready to sell. So,
Incredible. This is crazy.
and that's just the tip of the iceberg of what we're able to do with AI these days. And so that's why, you know, we want to be able to shoot these videos so you can honestly see that it doesn't have to take months. It doesn't have to take years. It doesn't have to take weeks. It can literally be days and in some cases minutes or hours to get something actually functional that can be usable. Because for someone who just wanted to have a simple thing that only they use, this is pretty usable now. You literally could be just using this to create your thumbnails. Of course, it says you could come here and make it better, but now you got a starting point, just like that. Yeah. So, any last minute questions, Don? Any other feedback?
Man, listen, bro, I love what you did, man. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, because I know you're big on N8N and all that stuff on the back end. And I guess we'll talk about more of that inside of the community. So if you guys like this, join the community, man. I'm telling you, this is just like the tip of the iceberg. Like we go into way more depth, I should say, in regards to the apps and the structures on the back end. But as you're speaking, I'm thinking about like N8N workflows and like how to kind of automate this process where it's like, maybe you just push a button or you prompt it and it literally just spits it out like on the back end, like on autopilot type of stuff. But nah, man, I think you did an amazing job, bro. I'm excited to use it. And I'm gonna just say it again, man. So like when people that are, if you're watching this video, right, you already have an audience, you're already selling something, right? You already have a service or a product. start getting into these tools like Google AI Studio, Base 44, Lovable Bolt, whatever it is, and start building this stuff, man. Because like you'd be surprised at how many people will benefit from the product that you create, whether you want to make money from it or not. We're just in an era where you don't have to rely on other tools. Marquise said it in the beginning. He could have used somebody else's tool. Like it's out there and they're pretty cheap too. But he just decided to create his own, right? And he's gonna be able to benefit from it as well as others like me, bro, because I'm definitely gonna be using this for sure. I'm definitely using this. So it's like the proof is in the pudding, man. You just got to get in the field, get in the game, and start taking advantage of this stuff, man. So you did a great job, bro. As always, you know, I don't expect anything less. I'm just excited for you to launch it and see what it does.
Yep, and I'm just excited to build the next one, man. These are just, I feel like stepping stones. I just keep getting better at the process and building some really, really cool applications. And so we want you on that journey with us, building alongside of us, building the apps that make sense for you and for your clients. And with that, like I said, see you in the prompt because that's what's the place to be in 2026 and beyond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See you guys inside. Catch you later.